The university campus was always a chaotic blur of noise, rushing students and heavy backpacks. But for Lazi, everything went completely quiet the moment he saw her. He was leaning against the cold brick pillar outside the student center, holding a lukewarm cup of coffee he'd forgotten he was even drinking. He was just scanning the crowd, waiting for his next lecture, when his eyes locked onto a group of girls standing across the busy campus street. There were 4 or 5 of them, huddled together, chatting animatedly and bursting into sudden fits of giggles. They looked like any other group of varsity friends, except for her. She was the tallest amongst them all, easily towering over her friends by a head, but she carried her height with a stunning, effortless grace. It was impossible not to look at her. If anyone set their eyes on that group, she was the absolute first person they would notice. She practically commanded the space around her without even trying. She was wearing a simple outfit, but on her frame, it looked like it belonged on a runway. Every time she laughed, she tilted her head back, her bright smile catching the warm afternoon sunlight. Luazi felt his breath catch in his throat. There was a magnetic energy about her, a vibrant glow that made the rest of the crowded street completely fade into a blur. As he watched, one of her friends said something that made her cover her face with her hands, giggling softly before tossing her hair back. Luazi's heart hammered against his ribs. He didn't know her name, what she was studying, or who she was. All he knew was that he was instantly, completely captivated. And then, as if feeling the weight of his stare, she slowly turned her head. Across the bustling street, through the sea of passing students, her eyes moved until they locked right onto his. For a split second, time stood completely still as her eyes held his. Luazi forgot how to breathe, but just as quickly as the connection happened, she looked away, turning back to her friends with a fresh smile, leaving him standing there with a racing heart. A moment later, a silver sedan pulled up to the curb, parking right in front of the group of girls. Luazi's chest tightened. He couldn't take his eyes off them. He watched her closely, a sudden wave of anxiety hitting him. Was this a ride she had requested? Or was it her boyfriend coming to pick her up? Please, Luazi prayed silently. Please let it just be a requested ride. He tracked her every move. She stepped forward, opened the passenger door, and turned around to wave a bright goodbye to her friends. Then, she slid inside and closed the door. Luazi stood frozen, watching the taillights of the car disappear down the road until it finally drove out of sight. But the tall girl? She was a complete mystery. He had never, not once, seen her face on campus before today. Who is she? He thought, staring at the empty spot where she had just been standing. She had to be a transferred student from another university, or maybe she was just a freshman who had newly arrived. Either way, Lazi knew one thing for certain as he finally threw his empty coffee cup into the bin. His quiet 3rd year at varsity had just become a lot more interesting.